Hi, my name is Brandy Swift, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about my family and my cultural background. Um, my grandfather and my grandmother, my grandpa was a Pacific Islander, and my grandmother was Italian. And they both met while serving in the United States Navy. Um, they had only known each other for 3 weeks, but my grandpa had orders to stationed in to go to transfer to a station to Honolulu, Hawaii, and he just couldn't bear leaving my grandma behind. So, in order for her to go with him, the only way that they could do that is if they were married. So my grandparents were actually married after 3 weeks of knowing each other, which is kind of cool because they were married for over 50 years. Um, I have a pair of earrings that were made of sea glass, and in this speech, I'm going to tell you how I came about these and what they mean to me. When my grandparents were living in Hawaii, one of the tokens, I guess a token of love, you would say, it's one of the things that my grandpa would do for my grandma is he would collect sea glass, and it became it just became one of the things that he loved to do, and one of the ways that he showed my grandmother how much he loved her. So they would walk the beach and he would find sea glass, and after 50 years, or I guess not 50 years, after 15 years of being in the military and being seaside, they had quite a large collection of sea glass. After my grandfather passed in 2013, my grandma had so much sea glass, and she knew that she could never part with it, but she didn't know exactly what she wanted to do with it or how she wanted to display it. So instead of just giving my mom and my dad, my uncles, my cousins, and me and my sisters just individual pieces of sea glass, she actually started a hobby as well. And she would use a kiln and forge that sea glass into earrings or pendants or keychains, and that gave her something to do and allowed her to use these pieces of sea glass um, in a special way to give to me and my family. So for me, she took the sea glass and she actually made these earrings. The color itself isn't from the sea glass, but the glass that's surrounding it is. These earrings mean a lot to me because my grandpa was one of the most both my grandpa and my grandma were two of the most special people in my entire life. And my grandma, it means it's awesome to think that my grandpa collected this glass while walking the beaches of Honolulu as a young man, with the intent to give this piece of glass to my grandmother. I hold it very dear to my heart, and I will always keep these earrings. To me, it represents family and love and respect. And I hope to one day be able to give this to my children. I'm not sure if it'll be a fashion statement that they love by the time they're old enough to keep it, but I do know that no matter what, it's going to be with me for the unforeseeable future. And if one of my children would enjoy it and would take care of it in the next 20 years, then I would hand it down to them so they could have a special piece of their grandparents as well.